Welcome to a new test and teardown video. This time it's a EurotestAT MI 3101, and I think the company behind this is called Metrel. And I got all the manuals, English and Danish manual. I got a quick user guide to show how the different tests are set up and performed. All sorts of cables, interface for computer, input, output, connectors and stuff. So I think and also to the charger. I just plugged it into the charger, and when you turn this off, there's a little indicator here, so I definitely think it is charging the internal batteries. This thing could be a little bit old, so I'm afraid the batteries could have been leaked or anything like that. So of course I have to open it and test and check how it is looking inside before I connect this to any mains kind of things. And I believe this thing can do all the things you need for your home or your building facility to test insulation, line impedance, fault loop, and voltage, frequency, phase rotation. It can test your protection relay, your leakage protection relay, the trip time and the trip current is also a thing it can test. Resistance to earth. Yeah, you can even test varistors. So that is overvoltage protection devices. And then it cranks up the voltage from 0 to 1000 and 1 milliamp threshold, all that. So it's an all-in-one high voltage tester. Oh, it can even do 1200 volts isolation tests. Pretty nice. And it's not that big or heavy or anything. Maybe here at the back here, okay, this says something about battery. So this probably access to the battery or how you open this thing. And they made it real smart here on this is the front, right? No, this is the top of the unit. See, if you are testing something, you can't be charging or connecting to your computer or anything like that at the same time. That means there is no isolation hazards. So that is really good for protection. And I don't know why we got 3, because it can do 3 earth and the 3 phases. So that's why we got 4 connectors or 4 pins here. And it's of course a very special connector. I can't really remember how I've seen this connector before. So this is high voltage, super good isolated. Each part of this connector is isolated for a couple of thousand volts. Well, that is a very good connector for that. So you can plug this, and this is the local mains test. I don't want to hit the HPFI test or isolation test or anything like that. You're only supposed to do those tests on a disconnected house. You can't do this with a connected house, so definitely should be afraid of enable some of the different tests. But it goes into voltage test first. This one I'm not super afraid of doing. So the null and the line and the power earth. Voltage connectivity isolation. So we just click here to go through some of the different tests. That is the varistor test. And then you can probably change some low and high limit. And then how do you change these things? Maybe I should read the manual a little bit. But first, of course, I want to open and inspect. How is this designed? So this is so far quite impressive. That was easy. And here is the battery. Just click this in. And easy access to fuses, not too tight or anything. So fantastic. We got some access, probably just those two screws, and I should be able to pull it a little bit more apart. Yeah, I hope that is... So, those are Duracell. This is probably the brand that everybody who knows a little bit about electronics hate the most. Because they leak. Even these leak a little bit. Look at that, we got some splat, puke. So Duraleak is definitely also a thing of rechargeables, and that is normally not what I see. Those are nickel metal, and I can't see how old they are or anything like that, but there's a serial number here, and this just don't say anything about the year or the date or anything like that. It's the same number on all my cells here. That looks a little bit nasty. Let's take another one and see if it's... No! Ooh, that is weird. Why is it looking like that? Oops. What the heck is going on here? That will be all my 6 cells. 2 of them. Looks really funny here. And those 2 are the same. This one is different. No, these 3. Hey, so let's have a look. Got a serial number there. Now, oh, they look completely different. Completely different serial number too. What do you know? And this one says 8319 la la la. And this one was different as well. Why would you put in... Oh, and this is the same number as this. So this one, they look the same. How is that possible? Well, I'm not a super duper fan of Duracell anyway, so they're just gonna go to the bin. Okay, let's see how we open this thing. Sometimes when you want to open equipment, it's some sort of an IQ test because they love to hide how to open stuff. And nothing happened with those 2 screws, but look what I figured out. You have to take here and pull, and then, haha, something happens. So that is the trick. So by removing these, you can now get access to the how to open screws. Hidden here, haha. I will figure this out, you know. I'm a little bit impressed about the build and the quality of this unit. I thought we were dealing with membrane switches, but no, look at that. Proper switches, they're really good. And that will be the USB interface and FTDI. So this is a serial port that makes the FTDI makes it into a USB. And I believe my unit here is the single phase and earth. So there's a pin here that's not connected to anything. So we got only these 2. And look at all the electronics in this one. I just pulled this board out of those connectors here, and those tabs, they go into the circuit board here and secures everything, is held in place, and everything about this is just tip top fantastic. Let's see if I can pull this, then we can better have a better look. So there's a huge Infineon CPU from that was a date code. Yeah, here it is, 06. 2006, I bet. And under the cable to the screen we have a RAM or flash, and here we got RAM or flash, or is it the other way around, right? Yeah, this one looks like flash. So, made in Slovenia. And here says the date, also 06. So now we know exactly how old this is. Now let's look at the other two boards. Very, very impressive, this design. So that will be the charge voltage. We got a little filter here, and then that will be the battery charger. Got a transformer right there, and it's really, really packed with electronics. Some relays, current measurement, high power FETs, big hefty heatsink, and a resistor here. It's because it can measure the impedance to ground and stuff like that. So you need to make a high current source, or maybe it's pulsed or something like that. You see there's a temperature sensor glued to this power resistor as well. And look at all those ICs here for the interface and the controlling of everything. I'm totally impressed. And caps. Somebody replaced all the caps in 2020 and even added a little note. And I've been looking a little bit on the solder job and how this was done. I don't know if you can see the solder job here. This is a replaced capacitor, I think. It is done perfectly fine, and even the way he cleaned the solderings, I mean, you can see it was changed. See, here's a capacitor, and it goes right there. So you can see somebody soldered these. Damn, it's difficult to hold this. But that is some of the best solder jobs I have seen in a very long time. And I've been through everything here on my visual inspection, and I really don't find any reason not to power this up after a little reassembly here. Ooh. And now it is assembled again. You can really see how nicely packed everything is. Definitely a good way to do all that. See this hole right there? This piece fell out when I disassembled it. And you know what? This one goes through this hole. Doing. And this supports to this point. And it goes and support the mounting bracket here for the connector. So when you pull the connector real hard and push the cable in here, this one here is screwed to this piece here with tiny little plastic screws. But if you yank it real hard, you could probably push the screws out, and you don't want to have that. So by adding this, you have a super duper, I mean, really, they've been thinking about everything. That is yeah. Normally I don't see that much brain power put into stuff like this, but this is definitely one of the good moments. So now it's connected to my mains. And I can of course see the voltage and the frequency. It also shows here how it sees the voltage. So I believe this is all correct. My line, or my live, is the one that is alive, and power earth and the null, we see, of course, nothing. And it is definitely measuring. Also, that one is important. That is 0. So I'm really happy about this instrument. It's doing all the things here at the same time. I think it's recording whatever we have here on a little disk drive. So I think I'll just let it run a little bit, and then I will see what happens if I have a file. Or do I need to save something? Or I think this barista test, this voltage and current test, is very, very useful. So I've just tried to run the test without anything connected, and then it says that it's failed, and the voltage was over 1000. And yeah, well, so here is a varistor. So let's try and see. So what is it going to? Oh, look at that! It really works. I will definitely go and check the voltages and how this is doing this, but I'm quite happy about this. This is very, very useful. I'm definitely going to keep this instrument. Let's try something more funny. So here's a little neon bulb. Did you see that? So there was a blink, and then here is the neon bulb. Startup voltage, 66 volts. This is very useful. I can also use this for voltage regulators. So this is a 150 volt voltage regulator, and let's try and see how that works. $141. But this one is only testing at 1 milliamp, as far as I understand. Let's see if we can see a tiny little blink. No, I didn't see any blink. Well, that's boring. But anyway, I think this is what I wanted to show you about this fantastic Eurotest thing. I hope you had a little bit of fun. See you around. Bye bye.